Hello everyone. For this fly, which is an imitation of emerger of big ephemera mayfly, well, you will need a couple of things, and of course you can substitute them with whatever you have or whatever is available for you. So first of all, let's start with tail or trailing shock. In this case, it's just a piece of CDC feather tied in as a trailing shock. Then you will need to use a little bit of copper wire, owl feather, and if you don't have owl, well, you can use dubbing if you want, or some other feather, whatever you like. But I like this feather because it has inbuilt mobility. It's super soft. That's why owls can fly without making any sound. Apart from that, you will need some partridge, and you will need 3 CDC feathers, 2 for wings and 1 for thorax or legs. So without any further ado, just let's get into tying, because it's quite an easy fly with maybe a few more steps than usual, but still it looks very nice, catches fish very nice. So let's start with it. So first of all, I'm gonna use thread. I'm using Semperfli Nano Silk 18/0 in yellow, and this color I'm choosing just because it complements everything else on this fly. I'm going to catch this thread right about where I want my thorax to begin, and I'm going to just try to create bulk in this area here, so when I go towards the rear end of the hook, I'm going actually to make some taper. So by catching all the materials right about here, you're actually creating taper. That's like a foundation for everything that follows. So just let me get my CDC. So I'll just take, let's say, half of the feather. It's not a big one, and it's rather big fly, and I'm going to attach it somewhere about here, so like almost like body length, as you can see, but all those fibers are not same length, so it's not exact thing. So I'll just catch a couple of loose wraps and then I'll pull it backwards. So let me see if I'm satisfied. Now I'm going to pull it a little bit more, go till the end of the hook. Now I'm going to catch wire. I have it already prepared. Wire I catch and I extend it all the way where I stopped with my thread. Okay. Now I'm gonna catch some owl first. So what I'm doing here is, I hope you can see that, the longer fibers I'm going to use for the body, and shorter ones, which would be biot if it was a feather from the wing, I'm using for the body cover. Not necessary, but looks pretty. So let me just cut a bunch of this. So I'm just pull my scissors in and then I just pull out. And now notice this, look how fluffy the surface of the feather is. I mean, there isn't any other feather that's fluffy as this one, I think. I mean, at least not the flying one. So I'm just gonna catch it. Of course, it's rather soft as well. Now I'm gonna catch this material that I'm going to use for the wing case cover, and there is a light side and dark side. Dark side will face downwards because when I fold it over, it's gonna be on the top of our fly. Now just check if is everything okay. Now additionally, you can create more taper if you want. Just use your thread wraps for this, it's okay. And as you can see, I'm not paying too much attention to details right now, like all those barbules sticking out are not of my big concern right now. So just gonna create a little bit of taper here. Now you don't have to be so neat, It's a rather big fly. It's forgiving material because it's so fluffy, so any bumps that you create in your fly, it will actually just make them disappear. Now, because I'm going to use rotation right now, I'll just make a couple of wraps here, and I'm gonna wrap this in the opposite way than I was wrapping the thread. Sorry. So be aware that you have a hook point here, so try not to cut your feather there. And as you can see, it's creating like beautiful little body here, semi-translucent. When you catch it with when it gets into the water, it becomes even better because it gets that slimy, half translucent look, and it looks quite realistic. And everything here, this is going to be submerged. It breathes underwater. It's like it literally breathes, and it suggests life. So now I'm going to fold over the dark side, as you can see. I'm just gonna position it properly now. Okay, tighten the thread. Couple more wraps here. Cut the excess. Now wrap your wire first around the base of the CDC here, just once, twice, and then no pressure over the feather. Press when you go down with your wire, and then no pressure over the feather, press down, no pressure, press down, and that's the way how you go. Now, as you can see, this body already looks amazing. It looks pretty much like mayfly, and it has those mottled color. So what I would recommend also here is you can make a beautiful nymph with these feathers, and they also breathe under the water. They suggest life. So as you can see, with my fingers I already put it against the body. It's not so fluffy anymore, but as soon as it enters water, it's going to be the new again. So just creating a slight taper here. Now for the wings, I'm going to use 2 triangular shaped feathers. I mentioned those triangular shaped feathers in my previous videos about CDC tips, and it's those feathers that have almost all barbules aligning at the tip, so it's not oval shaped. It's just why I like this feather is I maximize from using it. I use most of it, so I start like this, so I catch all barbules, and then when I reach the tips I pull it a bit more, and then I just cinch it down. You can pull on the feather to check if everything is right. It is. Now I'm gonna cut a little bit of these, and then I'll, oops, I don't know what happened. Maybe I got the thread on the point, but I didn't notice the point. Maybe I cut it with scissors. Well, it happens. So, never mind. I'm just gonna prepare this for the next step. I'm making a slight taper here, because if you cut it flush, it creates a bump, and all the materials will just jump down, and it will, it's kind of annoying. And now I'm gonna choose one of these brown feathers here. So I'm just gonna find a nice brown feather, and right now I'm looking for the larger one because it's a large fly. You can also use the black and white one, or gray and white. And finally I got what I need. It's definitely soft hackle feather. It's not for dry flies specifically, but there is enough CDC here to support the fly. And partridge is just for the movement as well as the CDC. So as you can see, I have for legs curved bad feather. Let's call it bad, it's not bad, just the stem is bad. So just gonna straighten it up a little bit, pull back all those fibers. So this would be almost oval feather. Now, maybe you noticed I have the foam thing here instead of magic tool. So I'm gonna just put partridge and the CDC on the top of each other. And I'm going to press it like so with dubbing needle. So I get all those barbules sticking out. And this is what I'm going to insert in the dubbing loop I need to prepare right now. So prepare dubbing loop and leave it just here where you want your thorax to begin. And just in case I touch it somehow and bump into the fly, I'll just make like 1, 2 turn whip finish knot, and in case I touch the fly like this, it won't jump away and unravel everything. So I need to catch CDC and partridge with a clamp, open the foam, and then cut. Okay. Now, using the dubbing twister, the heavy one, I prefer the heavy one because I can leave it down and it will keep even some materials on the place because it has weight to it. I don't like the slim ones which are actually too light. Now spin it hard, and you know if you did a good job if those barbules are actually perpendicular to the thread. If they are not catching each other, then everything is fine. Then just start wrapping and make sure that you're actually covering this part here. Don't allow any thread to be visible. So I'll just try to show it to you like so. Now after each wrap, pull those fibers back, and what I like to do, because I'm using nano silk, I actually cinch it even more. I pull the thread towards me. So pull back the fibers, cinch, pull back, cinch, pull back, cinch. And this actually reinforces your fly even more, because we are actually catching some toothy critters on this, and we don't want our fly to get destroyed by just 1 or 2 fish. So we want this fly to last a little bit more. Okay, now what I like to do is take both feathers together, push with needle, so when you have them all aligned, just roll it under the needle like so to break the stem and shape it a little bit, and then when you finish you can remove the needle and then just decide how long you want this bubble to be. And this is quite easy on a large fly, and I want this fly bubble to be more or less like a little bit less than this. Okay, 1, 2, final check. Maybe I'll just pull it a little bit more. Okay, now it unraveled. Okay, this is good. Okay, wonderful. Now a couple of more wraps in front of the CDC just to make everything secured, and then cut. Now first I'm going to make a whip finish in front of the tag, cut tag here, and then I'll try to hide it more or less with the thread. So first whip finish was like to secure everything down, the second one is to secure more and to make it more pleasing to the eye. So making a nice head, and as you can see I made like very many, like I made too many reps, but this is nice thin thread so I can allow myself to do so. Now the last step would be to just brush out those legs. So let me explain about this fly a little bit. Everything about this fly screams, I'm moving, I'm alive, and that's why the fish like it. Second reason why fish like this fly is its transforming phase of an insect, and as such it just cannot escape from the fish. It's transforming on the surface, it's very vulnerable, so fish knows that, and they just go there and they eat it very secure. Like they open the mouth, they suck it very deeply, and it's a like 100% catch. Of course, if you use it at the right time and if you know the presentation. Dragging this fly across the surface is not going to catch you probably any fish, some old ones of course, but that drift would be the perfect presentation for this. Long leader, longer tippet, don't use like 7x on this fly, it's too thin for this. Probably 5x would be perfect for this one, depending on the fish size of course as well. So guys, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a like, subscribe. Thank you very much for your support, and see you next weekend.